Welcome back to Take 5 with Abby and Crystal. Welcome, Crystal. Hi. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that unfortunately probably all of us are familiar with, and that's stress. But we're going to give you some tools to hopefully help manage that stress in a positive and effective way. So we'll talk about what stress is, good versus bad stress. Yes, there is good stress, and we'll touch on that. Risk factors and symptoms of chronic stress, how stress impacts our mental and physical health, and then those tools to help us cultivate resiliency so that we can manage stress better. So stress, we probably don't need to define it because we've all felt it, right? But technically it's a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Probably not unlike what we've experienced this past year, huh? But did you know that there's actually good stress and bad stress? So the term for good stress is eustress. And we see here that's actually a positive thing. It usually energizes us. It's usually a short term, and we feel like we can handle it. It can actually improve our performance. Now, some examples of eustress might be if you're preparing for a presentation at work, or maybe doing a project at home, going on a first date, something like that. So our body reacts in that same way, but it's a positive thing for us. And then there's what we call negative stress or distress. So this usually feels bad and overwhelming and kind of unmanageable for us. It can be short or long term, and we perceive it as outside of what we're able to cope with. So it feels like we can't handle this. This feels bad. And over time, it can lead to physical illness, mental fatigue, and really deplete us emotionally. So what are some risk factors for that chronic kind of bad type of stress? Well, they generally come from 4 places. So we have those external stressors, and that might be like those everyday hassles we all experience, financial issues, maybe major life events. Then we have internal sources of stress. So maybe we're not eating like we should, or not moving like we should, taking in too much caffeine, smoking cigarettes, those kinds of things. And then we have physical sources of stress. So maybe illness or an injury, maybe we're exercising too much or not enough, those types of things. And then really we have psychological risk factors for chronic stress. So anxiety, fear, reacting to life changes, the things we all experience. So what impact do those things have on our body, our mood, and our behavior? So we know that from a physical aspect, stress can cause us to have high blood pressure. It can cause chest pain, fatigue, headache, muscle tension, upset stomach. These are all things that physically can happen from that chronic type of stress. We know it also impacts our mood, right? We might not be sleeping well. We might be more on edge or jump to anger. Maybe we feel sad or even depressed. And it might be hard to focus, and we might lack motivation. And as far as the impact of stress on our behavior, it could cause us to, like I said, have those angry outbursts, overeat or undereat, maybe start using substances such as tobacco or alcohol, and we might withdraw socially when we're experiencing chronic stress. So what do we do about it? It's something we all experience, right? And I like this quote from Hans Selye. He's considered the father of stress research, and he says, "It's not the stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it." So what can we do to learn how to better able to kind of adapt to the stress that we're all facing? We're going to talk about how to cultivate resiliency. So resiliency is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, threats, or significant sources of stress. So it doesn't, we all face stress, right? And being resilient doesn't mean we avoid stress. It's just learning to better cope with it. So how do we do that? I want to go through kind of 3 examples of techniques that I like to use that can be helpful, not just for short-term stress, but also for that long-term chronic stress. And the first one is box breathing. So this is a really easy technique. You don't need any equipment to do it. You don't need any special area. You can really do it anywhere, whether you're at work or at home, before bedtime. And it's very effective. So this technique has lots of research behind it. It's been used by people in the military, kind of top executives, and athletes. So there's lots of research to show that just doing this type of breathing just 6 times can really have a physiological effect. So it reduces cortisol in our body, which is that stress hormone. And it's kind of training our brain to tell our body to feel relaxed. And it's a simple technique. We call it box breathing because if you're doing it, as you're doing it, if you think of your breathing in kind of a square form, so we inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, rest for a count of 4, and then repeat. And like I said, just doing this technique 6 times has been shown to have an effect on those stress hormones in our body. So can really help us feel more relaxed, more focused, and more energized. And again, this can be used for the short term. It can help reduce anxiety, can enhance learning and skill development, help us, think more clearly. And long term, it's been shown to reduce that chronic anxiety that some of us have, chronic pain reduction, even improved immune function, improved lung capacity. So lots of short and long-term benefits for incorporating this very simple exercise throughout the day. Another tool that I like to use is called 3 Good Things. So you see, I have my my journal here, and I use this to write down 3 good things each night. So before I go to sleep, I think about the day and I just think of 3 good things and jot them down. So this doesn't have to be paragraphs of information. They can be, a couple words for each thing, but it really helps you kind of refocus to the positive. So we've kind of been trained, right, to kind of persevere on the negative things. So this helps us refocus to the positive. So writing down 3 good things that happened during the day. It might be, you took a walk outside, you ate a great meal, you spent some time with your kids, or, outdoors with your pet, something like that. And then you look at kind of your part in how and why those things happened. And then you just do that every night. So it really just takes pencil and paper and a few moments. But over time, it can really help us start to notice the good things. And that's important for stress management. And lastly, and one of my favorites, just being active outside. So we know, right, that, moving around physically can help with stress management, but it's even enhanced further when we do that physical activity in nature. And this can be as simple as taking a walk in the woods. Here's a picture of our trails on campus here at St. Joe's in Ann Arbor. Beautiful trails out there where we can, spend a few moments, really feel that sunshine, when we see it in Michigan, and breathe in, the different sense of nature, and kind of just move. Maybe you're by yourself, maybe you're with a friend, but we know that being outside in nature can help reduce blood pressure. Again, it can help reduce cortisol, which is that stress hormone. We get the exposure to the natural light, which we know helps us sleep better. So even 20 minutes being outdoors in a green space has been shown to improve mental and physical health. So another tool that we have to help with the stress management. And here's a couple ideas for things you can kind of do throughout the day. Brain breaks and autopilot tasks. So maybe watering a plant, something like that. Just getting up and moving to do something that feels kind of mindless, but also satisfying. Taking time to walk down and maybe get a cup of tea. Making time for play. And so whether that be, you know, with a partner, with your kiddos, with a pet, you know, feeling that kind of childlike energy can be helpful. And then finding your focus. So when we're feeling stress, it can be helpful to really hone in on a specific focus where we can kind of direct that energy instead of letting it kind of spiral out of control. If we can focus it, it helps us feel, you know, more in the moment and more like we're in control. And, you know, there's an app for everything these days, right? I find these apps very helpful. You may have heard of Headspace and Calm, also Wim Hof. So these apps can provide guided stress relief meditations, music, just calming music before bed or anytime during the day that you're feeling stressed. I recommend you check these out if you haven't. A lot of them are free for at least a trial period or free for a year for healthcare workers. And so they're a nice addition to have kind of in your toolkit when you're thinking about resources for dealing with stress. And we also have some spaces on campus that can really help you recharge. We have a fitness studio in the Women's Health Center. Classes are on hold right now, but we're hoping that when it's safe, we'll return to those. Of course, we have the beautiful chapel. Even pausing for a moment to listen to the piano in the lobby can be that 1 or 2 minutes that we kind of need to reset and really help us deal with our stress. Some people like to get physical when they're dealing with stress, and we have plenty of room to do that at the hospital, right? We all get our steps in here. You can climb to the top of, you know, the towers or the Riker building, and you're greeted by that beautiful sign that lets you know that you made it all the way up. And we have space in the Riker Health building, suite 4016. So this is a space available to all colleagues 24/7. You just need to swipe your badge to get in. There is cardio equipment as you see pictured there. There are weights. And then in that back room, there's a very nice space to do yoga or stretching or just some mindful breathing. So a great resource for colleagues. We have our salon if you're looking for a spa day, if that helps you relax, you know, a nice massage or a little pampering session. And then our beautiful space on the 4th floor in the towers, the meditation garden there. Great place to get away, helps you feel like you're out of the hospital for a minute, but you can get there quickly and kind of fit it in during a quick break during the day. I like to go there, kind of listen to the quiet and reset. And then again, the trails we have on campus, we have beautiful marked trails back through the wooded areas. Again, a great place to recharge. And if you're looking for more resources, we have lots of ways to support you. Our resiliency rounders, our spiritual care and chaplain team with the phone number listed there, the lifestyle medicine team. We have Ann Dornwend, who is trained to help talk with colleagues about stress and anxiety they're feeling. We also have our resources outside of Ann Arbor that colleagues have access to. So, you know, the CareBridge EAP, Virgin Pulse has some great journeys that involve meditation and stress management. And then we have the SAMHSA National Helpline if you're looking for mental health support. We also encourage you to always reach out to your primary care team if you're struggling with any of stress management or anxiety issues. And, you know, I've talked a little bit about the resources that work for me. Crystal, I'd love to hear from you about, you know, what effective stress management techniques have you found?
Well, Abby, it's great to be here with you today. I'm so excited about this PowerPoint and this presentation that you've shared. Some stress management. So I got this little ball here, right? Okay. I actually picked this up in the gift shop downstairs. So we have two gift shops on both sides of campus. And, it was only like $3.99 or something like that. And, you can just kind of squeeze it like this. And I really feel like this is play. And play is an important activity that you can have that helps reduce stress. I also like to go home and play Legos with my daughter. We play with some Play-Doh and yeah, it's just great. And a couple minutes of this, it really kind of really helps you. You can do it in a quiet place. You can do it in your office. You can do it in the break room. You can do it anywhere on campus. Maybe you go outside, you sit in one of the chairs for a little bit outside and just get some good fresh air and have one of these and think on some helpful and positive things. Another thing I like to do is I like to color. So I picked these up probably at Target, $1 when they were on sale. And I have some coloring sheets that I picked up, and I just like to, sometimes while I'm thinking about something or thinking about an idea, I just sit down and get these markers out and just color a little bit. And, I'm not an artist. I like to say that I'm an aspiring artist, an amateur artist, but so it doesn't have to be like super beautiful or anything. You just draw whatever is on your mind. It may just be drawing triangles or drawing squares or making, some circles or something like that. And do that for 3 to 5 minutes and you might feel yourself feeling more relaxed, feeling more calm, maybe feeling more centered. Of course, I'm a chaplain and a clinical pastoral educator here. And so it probably goes without saying, but there are some spiritual resources more specific to religion that I use. And one of those is the Bible. I like to go through and read some scriptures and passages, especially in the Psalms. So for those who are of the Christian tradition or other traditions, the Hebrew Bible, that's where Psalms is located. And Psalms is just about singing. And it's wonderful to read through those. And some of them are about nature. And some of those are just kind of quieting yourself, being still. And that's really helpful for me. Another thing that I thought I would show you during this show and tell exercise is this is an illuminated Bible. And for those of you who like creativity and like a little bit of the visual stuff, you can read through this and it has some visual graphics in there. So, I encourage you to find something that is uplifting for you. It may not be the Bible. It may be another sacred resource. Could be the Quran, could be the Jewish Bible, could be poetry. Poetry is a really wonderful resource. I like to just sit and sometimes even write poems, but also read them. And another thing that I like to do is I like to read. So some books, I certainly love nonfiction books, but another book that I really like, or another genre rather, is fiction. So sometimes just getting lost in the world of fiction, reading something that kind of takes you away, get your mind off something, and really the goal is to let your mind wander. And as your mind wanders, it seems to help reduce stress. So those are a few of the things that I do. They're not everything, but those are some things that can take maybe just a couple seconds to a couple minutes to maybe a longer exercise of reading a book. Okay, back to you, Abby.
Great tips. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm a reader too, so I really like getting lost in that fiction world. I think that's one that we all have access to, and it can really take your mind off, the everyday stuff that might be, worrying you, and kind of put you in that other world for a minute, which can be really helpful. We also wanted to share, we know we pictured the meditation garden up on the 4th floor. If you're interested in virtually visiting, we're going to post a separate video, just a few minutes long, that explores the garden a bit and gives you a chance to do some, mindful breathing or mindful movement, a meditation, anything you like. But we wanted to really highlight that as a beautiful resource we have here on campus to help with stress management. So thank you so much for watching our video, and we hope we provided some helpful information. Please reach out if you have any questions, and we look forward to seeing you on our next Take 5.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.